Hello everyone, my name is Crimi-Trent and welcome to my channel. Today we're going to paint an easy pumpkin. Now I've already drawn out the pumpkin, as you can see here, very lightly. I use a 2H pencil to do that. You can get some references online. It's pretty easy, just do a simple pencil sketch of a pumpkin. Grab your water, your paper towel. Today I'm using a Princeton Select brush, if you can see that, and various paints. Fold them over so you can see them. Okay. So you want to start with a very light yellow golden color. And wash that. Doing the edges of your lines. See here, over here. And fill it in. I leave a space in between the lines. It's a little white space you can see in here. And fill this in. It's a little too much yellow. I'm going to wash it down. Also, I'm using Arches cotton, 100% cotton cold pressed paper. Again, just filling in the space. If it's a little too bright, that's okay. Leaving the white halo. Between. If you touch, it's not a big deal. The halo acts as a guide. Okay, now you can go in and grab light orange, and you would just start to just tap it on the edges here. It's not wet, it won't bleed. If it is wet, it will bleed. If it's not wet enough, you can get the brush a little wet and push it into the middle. Here. Grab it. You can see some bled and some didn't. So if it didn't, I just wet the edge of it. Go back and do the same over here. The paint should be fairly watery. You don't want it concentrated. Again, see, it's not wet enough, so I add more water. It will dilute the color, but that's okay. We can just build upon it. Again here, see, that's intense, so I'm going to add more water. Still trying to keep away from that edge, because then it will bleed. Intense again. I'll water it down. Fill that in. Up on the top here. Now you want to keep adding more intense orange, more concentrated. It can be bright. You can tone it down with a little brown if you don't want it that bright. See, a little brown. And it's very wet. See how wet that is? And add more orange. From the bottom up. Push it, kind of like a mop, soaking it and pushing it. Now it's getting a little too brown, so I'll add more orange. Again, on the edges here. From the bottom up. Try and work quickly if you can. Especially with this paper, the Arches paper is a very thirsty paper. It soaks up pretty quickly. So the reason why we wanted the space, see how that's bleeding in here. It won't bleed if you have the space. Otherwise you have to work with it a little at a time, because it will be, you have to wait for it to dry. Excuse me. And then you'd have to go back in and do it if you want to work without having to wait with it for it to dry. You can go this way. And I'll keep adding orange. Now I'm not liking this yellow part in the middle, so I'm now going to blend it. That's going over it with some water and then taking it off like a mop. Going over it and then taking it off. How you do that is you put your brush down and then put it on the paper towel. Brush down, paper towel. And now you're going to grab even more intense, darker orange. Again, bottom. Towards the edges. At the edges. Just dabbing it. I'm dabbing it, as you can see. Just dabbing it. Get some up here. Grab some of your intense yellow and blend it in here too. You can play around. It doesn't have to look exactly like this. See, I'm adding a little brown just to see how it looks. A lot of watercolor is trial and error. It's not perfect. We're going to let that dry a bit. We'll work on the stem. So for the stem, I'm going to add some green first. Got a limey type of green. Again, try not to touch the orange or it will bleed. Just leave a little halo. Now you want to grab a much more intense green value, darker green value. Like a hooker's green. And then just touch the bottom. Let it bleed. Touch the edge. See how that bleeds. You can add a little black to that to get it more intense. Not too much, because then it'll be very black. Just to give it that intensity. And if you don't like how it bleeds, you can remove it with your brush. that dry a bit. Now we're going to try and go in these halo sections here with a deep red-brown, or orange red-brown. Just on one side. Now, see, this one's not dry, so it's bleeding. If it was dry, it wouldn't bleed as much. But that effect is kind of nice, actually. If you want it not to bleed as much, too, you can make the watercolor less watery, more intense. I'll try that here. Almost opaque. And it won't bleed. If it does bleed, it bleeds much more minimal. Again, you want the stronger color on the bottom. The shadows. And a little more orange over here. Adding and wiping at the same time. Blending it. See, I'm using it like a mop, going in and soaking up some of it. Now the green's probably not dry, but just for all intents and purposes. We're going to add the ridges lines. Try and make the paint more concentrated. Start from the top, go to the bottom. See, it's not dry. So it's blended. It's bleeding too much. But you get the idea. And actually, it's not a bad effect. And then you can go in and add a squirrely stem with the leaves. And if you want, you can add some leaves. Give it more realistic. Pumpkin patch. Look. And I always like to add darker values at the tip of the leaf and at the bottom of the leaf. And there you have it. A very simple, easy, quick pumpkin. I hope you have a great day. And if you like my channel, please subscribe. Thanks for stopping by.